My name is Remy Savage, and I am co-owner of Yellow Triangle Restaurant and Blue Circle in London, which is a bar based on the Bauhaus, Nouveau in Paris, which is a bar based on Arnold, and Abstract in Lyon, which is a bar based on abstract art. I've been working in the bar industry for about maybe 15, 16 years, in cocktails for maybe about 10. By the nature of having 3 different bars in 3 different cities, 2 different countries, there is very little stability in my day-to-day. As well as this, we have a variety of different projects, whether it's glassware or perfume, or a handful of collaboration, just a lot of things that make it impossible for me to know kind of what my next week is going to look like. I have a vague idea, as well as this, what's the best way to organize my schedule. There's very little consistency in what my day-to-day looks like. I started to work in bars initially in order to support my studies. I studied philosophy, which I very much enjoyed, and then I worked a bit more in pubs. Then I went to, so that was in Lyon. Then I went to Oxford to work a little bit in bars and do a bit of work on a variety of different things. Then I went to Southeast Asia, so based out of Bangkok for a year. Then in 2012, I joined Little Red Door in Paris, where I worked for 5 years. And it's kind of the moment when the traveling started, just as the bar was gaining in popularities, and we had like these concepts that just meant people were very interested in what we're doing, so we had to talk about it. After 5 or 6 years, I moved to the Langham, so at the Artesian, where same thing, just loads of traveling. But it's true that since we opened the bar, so 2021, since we opened both bars, it's been it's just a lot of it, which is great, and it's certainly not something I'm going to complain about. But at the same time, being a father and trying to do a decent job out of it, trying very hard to do a decent job out of it, and it's hard to kind of have that double rhythm thing. I think I was delighted to work for other people. I was a very happy worker. But I think there's a time in everyone's life where you just kind of want to do stuff. So I think we're very lucky that we've been able to do exactly what we had in mind and what we wanted to do. It was very good. It's hard to say what's the career highlight. I guess the kind of change every week. I know that last week I had a bit of a very kind of touching moment where I sat down in my Parisian venue, Nouveau, I think for 4 or 5 hours, and just did nothing, and everything looked so perfect. There was like the clock looked like the music, that looked like the drinks, that looked like the overall vibe, and people were having a specific time. I know it's not a particularly symbolic highlight, as in I won my World Best Dad mug, but I think that there was something extraordinarily important for me. So as I say, it's nice not to have too many symbolic highlight, but more moments that you're just like, God, that's awesome. Like I'm enjoying my job. The difficult thing about working in hospitality, I don't think it's particularly difficult to work in hospitality if it's the only thing you're doing. I think it's an extraordinarily rewarding job, and it's it's pleasant. And I personally, I see myself to be very well suited to work nights. I like the hours. I like to do stuff during the day and just socialize or socialize, work. They're the same thing. But I think the challenging thing for me became whenever there was either like a multiplication of people I have to talk with, or then tasks that have to be done at hours that don't really match. So as I said, having to wake up at 6 with my daughter, but finishing my shift at 4:30, it's like extraordinarily difficult. It's not, and it's okay to do it for a bit of time, but then you're just like, God, it sucks to always be exhausted. It's very hard to feel happy in general. You feel like you're always chasing something. So I think that this is what's hard in the hospitality industry. It's not the hospitality industry itself, but it's the rest of the world. Why isn't everyone working at night is a mystery to me. Or why isn't everyone drinking during the day? It would make everything much easier. Concerning Kickology, I actually, I've been training at Bloodline for a couple of years now. It's something that I used to do when I was a bit younger, and it's something I always very much enjoy. There's a variety of reasons for it, and I think whether it's the fact that obviously it's a great workout. It's a great way to recenter, to kind of, I guess, find a balance, strike a balance, must I say, between, you know, working these hours, having all of these commitments, but actually taking a couple of hours, you know, maybe a couple of times a week to just do something that is for you. I think is brilliant. I like the competitiveness of kickboxing. I like the action of kickboxing. I find it to be a very enjoyable thing to do. So whenever I saw that the Kickology was happening, and it would be to work with my peers as well, to kind of have set goals, I thought it was a very selfless idea, you know, done by the blend. It's just to get people to kind of feel better about themselves or set different goals. And I think that this is it's just brilliant. That's why I wanted to be part of it, because I love kickboxing, because even if I'm sometimes present myself as grumpy, I love the industry in which we evolve, and I love the vast majority of people that work in it. So I think it's a very nice thing to do. I think personally, in terms of goal, there's loads of little ones, like small ones, that are quite easily achievable, like to stop. I'm not a big smoker, but I've been known to enjoy a cigarette. So yeah, to stop smoking, to perhaps regulate a little bit more just the way I drink or the way I interact with alcohol. But I think the main one for me would be to be able to find a way to organize myself better when traveling. And by this I mean that to not fall under the natural excess, and to have this kind of balance and maturity when it comes to the way I organize my schedule. As I said, it's by nature extremely inconsistent. I don't really know what I'm going to be doing next week or next month. And I think that it's easy for me to arrive back in London and be like, okay, I just don't drink, exercise, eat healthily, feel good about yourself, take good time to breathe and do stuff. And then, okay, I have to go for 3 weeks in whichever part of the world, and then all of this kind of goes out the window. So it's a very, very inconsistent way to do it. But I know for a fact that there's a way for me to just keep the same level of focus when it comes to whether it's my well-being or just the way I, as I say, the way I eat, the way I drink, the way I go out, the way I interact with others, the way I exercise. I'm sure there's a way to do this while traveling, and this is what I'd like to do by having this very firm with myself 3 months, where I try to kind of recenter everything, to then like kind of take all the little tools I get. And obviously the support program from Kickology is amazing, whether it's in terms of speaking to a nutritionist or speaking to all these coaches that can help you. I think that's kind of a good way to learn all the things I have to learn, and then up to me to to stick with it or not. Okay, bye.